This time we're going to talk about the enzymes kinetics, and the enzymes are biocatalysts. So they are made out of proteins, and they speed up or accelerate the biochemical reactions without them altering themselves. So they don't change at all, they just speed up the biochemical reactions, and they decrease the activation energy. For example, if this is the time of the reaction and this is the energy, normally a reaction could go like this and end up here with this much of energy. By using the enzyme, it can be something like this. By using this much of energy and less time. So this is basically the role of enzymes. Now, how do enzymes work? Well, we have a common model that we will base on the kinetics that we're going to talk about today. And this is very simple. If we have an enzyme like this, and we have the substrates, then they combine with each other in an intermediate state, which is unstable, and then they give us a product. So the enzyme leaves the substrate and moves away from the substrate, and we have our new product. So we have the enzyme plus the substrate, then we have an unstable complex, and then we have a product. And this is a reversible reaction. It's a reversible reaction. So simply, this is the mechanism of how enzymes work. And there is a very, very known equation that deals with the velocity of the reaction. And it says so. V, which is the velocity, equals K small, multiplied by E multiplied by S. And this is divided by Km plus S. What does this mean? This is the velocity, and this is the intermediate stage, and this is a constant. This is a constant, and I'll mention it right now. This is another constant, which is called Michaelis-Menten's constant, and they are the two that actually made this equation. So it's their constant, and this is the substrate. This is the substrate. And there's another term in this equation called the Vmax, which is the maximum velocity that the reaction could reach. And this Vmax actually equals the K multiplied by the E. So this constant and the E equals Vmax. So we can write this equation in an easier way. So we can say that V equals Vmax multiplied by the substrate divided by Km plus the substrate. And at this point, if we draw a graph to illustrate this equation, we will get something that looks like this. So this is the velocity, and this is the amount of substrate used So as we can see, and this goes like this, it's a straight line here. So as we can see, as we increase the substrate, the velocity keeps on increasing till it reaches a certain point and then it stops and becomes constant. So this is the maximum velocity, the Vmax that we just mentioned. There's a very important term that we need to know concerning this equation, is that there is the Km at some point can equal the substrate itself. So the Km can equal the substrate itself, and if we plug this in the equation that we have, which is V equals Vmax multiplied by S, so we have here Km plus S. If we put here another S, then we'll have Vmax multiplied by S divided by 2S. So we'll have Vmax divided by 2. So what this means is, if we need to know when does the Michaelis-Menten constant equal the amount of the substrate, so simply we will go to the point which is half the Vmax, which is probably here, and we plot the Km. So this is where the Michaelis-Menten's constant equal the substrate. So if you know this constant for a certain enzyme, you can see the value here and go on the curve and determine half the maximum velocity multiplied by 2, and you get the maximum velocity. This is the point of the whole curve, the whole idea. But if you yourself want to draw this curve, it will be hard because it's a curve, it's not a straight line, it's not a linear function, and you will not plot the points. You will plot the points, but you will not draw the line correctly. You need lots and lots of points. So instead, another two people figured out a simpler way in order to draw the curve in a linear way, not in a curve. So now we have the Lineweaver-Burk equation. And what they did is that they took this equation here. We have the Km here. And they got its reciprocal. So, and they called the V naught or the V0, so the initial velocity. So instead of this, we have 1 over V naught, which equals, we have the reciprocal here, so it's Km plus S divided by Vmax multiplied by S. If we spread this, we'll have Km Vmax multiplied by S plus S divided by Vmax multiplied by S. These two will go together, and finally we'll have Km divided by Vmax multiplied by 1 over S, which is this part here, plus 1 over Vmax. And this is the Lineweaver-Burk equation. So 1 over V naught equals this. When you plot this equation, you will get something that looks like this. It's a linear function. And this point is -1 over Km. And this point is 1 over Vmax. And we wrote 1 over and 1 over because this is 1 over V naught. This is not just V, it's 1 over V. So this is 1 over Vmax, and this is -1 because it's on the negative side. This is the positive side, and this is the negative side. So -1 over Km. And of course this is much easier to plot because it's linear. the final thing that I want to mention is that there is something called the so I think that this is it for the enzyme kinetics, and the next time we will talk about something called the competitive inhibition and the non-competitive inhibitions, because there are substances which work on. So I think this is it for today, and the next time we'll talk about something called the competitive inhibition and the non-competitive inhibition, because there are substances which work on inhibiting the effects of enzymes. And we will see the effect of such inhibitors on the Lineweaver-Burk equation graph. And until the next time, I thank you for watching and see you.